Oh, my hearties, a very good evening to you and Dinky-Doo. It's just me, Scottie McClue, and we are, of course, live on the big one. Welcome, 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 I say. It's Saturday night. Nothing gets past me, 9 o'clock sharp, and lovely to have you with us. So much to talk about tonight, and so little time to do it. And there's Sue joining us. Hi, Sue. Lovely to see you. And lots of people on their way. I'm being reliably informed. We're on, of course, Glasgow Essentials tonight. Tremendous. We've got you live. How brilliant is that? So tell 10 to tell 10 to tell 10. And we're on the YouTube as well. Amy's with us. Hey, Scottie and everyone. Dinky-Doo says Judy. Judy, lovely to have you with us. And a big Dinky-Doo from me, Scottie McClue. I tell you. Lots and lots of you there. Somebody asking me how about the SNP for voting. We don't do voting and politics and all that stuff on here. Good evening, Scottie. Are the lines open? We'll get the lines open for you, Glenn, and you can give us a call. How amazing is that? I tell you. So there we go. Welcome, welcome, welcome to all you beautiful Glasgow Essentials people on the Facebook. That's what it's all about. Good stuff, Moog Moon. Good stuff to you, I say. Good evening, Scottie. This is the wonderful Tups Wahi. Tups Wahi. We'll be having a call later, I hope, and we'll get the benefit and the joy of your wisdom. I tell you. So there we go. We'll have a little bit more light there. That's better, isn't it? It's always better. A little bit of light. You can't beat it, I say. Now, can everybody see me and hear me? Kareem's just joined us on the TikTok. Lovely to have you with us. You know, you've got a choice now, Kareem. You can join us on the TikTok and you can join us on the YouTube or the Facebook. That's what it's about. Loud and clear, says Long John. Long John, we love that. We like being loud and clear. Murray O'Donnell has joined us. Good evening, Scottie. Good evening, Murray. How lovely to have you with us, and a big Dinky-Doo. So good to hear from you. I loved your radio show when I wore smaller clothes. Moog Moon, me too. Hi to Lucy, says Jake. Dinky-Doo. No problem at all. We can always say hi to Lucy. Paddy Powers just joined us, Dinky-Doo, and Gover Boy. Gover Boy. Dinky-Doo to Gover Boy, I say to you. How amazing is that? Welcome, welcome to all you beautiful people on the TikTok and also the Facebook at Glasgow Essentials. Tell 10 to tell 10 to tell 10. Let them know. Hello, says Kevin. Hello, Kevin and Andrew. Welcome, welcome to Glasgow Essentials. Share it, guys, and let everybody know we're on, because it's early days for all of this. So it's very, very good to have you with us, I say. So there we go. Hello, everyone, says Kareem. Kareem's joined us now on the YouTube. What are you up to these days? Moog Moon, busy, 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 busy man. And of course, we've just founded Glasgow Essentials on Facebook. Have a look at that. This month, I've noticed 700,000 people have joined us. Dinky-Doo to you, Scottie. Dinky-Doo, Scottie McClue. Have you ever been to South Uist? I've never been to Uist, but I've met the Uistchucks. Hello, legend, says Will. Will do, fella. Thanks, Moog Moon. Moog Moon. That's what it's all about. Hey, Scottie, hope you're good, says Andrew. We are, Andrew. Hope you're good. Paul from Port Glasgow. Lovely to have you with us, Paul. And Dinky-Doo. Tell everybody, Paul, send it out round the Facebooks. Tell them to come and watch Scottie McClue. There we are. Good evening, Mr. McClue from a stunning Derbyshire. Been to Bakewell today. We in Derbyshire are very lucky to have stunning places. God bless Mr. McClue. And may God go with you and with you too, sir. I tell you. That's what it's all about. How are you doing, Lord Scottie of Scotland? Welcome. Have you ever been to Glasgow Harbour, Scottie? Yes, I have, Webb. I have indeed. Glenn says, or Glenda, Dinky-Doo, Scottie, first time on in a few weeks. I'll be getting the Saturday night overtime in. Good. Off tonight, though, so tuning in whilst keeping an eye on the snooker. Listen, Glenda, I don't mind. There'll always be something I'm competing with, but there's no competition. Dinky-Doo, Mr. Scottie McClue from Trafford. I hope you're well. A live radio show is welcoming listeners joining in the chat. I tell you. Now then, who have we got here? Vincent, lovely to have you with us. Hello, Scottie. Have you ever been to Sea Houses, Scottie? Yes, I have, Jay. And I've also been to the one further up, the little fishing village, Eyemouth. Yeah, you know, do you know Eyemouth? I tell you, who are you voting for in the election? Well, you would never, ever, ever share anything like that. I tell you. So there we go. Now, who else have we got here? There's Will and Hex. And Billy is on as well. We like that. Good stuff. Who's on? Let me just check out. This is just incredible, guys. Wonderful. You'll see me looking about from time to time. I tell you. Now then, who have we got here? Who have we got here? You know your Scottish geography. Yes, I do, Jay. I tell you. There we go. Somebody's saying stop ignoring. Well, they must be asking something I can't talk about. That's usually the thing. So there we go. We'll maybe have to mute some people. That's what it will be about. I tell you. Now then, South Africa, says Raymond. Raymond, brilliant. Guys, always tell us where you're watching from. We love South Africa. Scottish people are legends. Well, do you know, they actually are. I could tell you that. Very, very important. Now, excuse me a second. I'm going to just have to mute some people here. There we go. They're asking strange questions that I can't answer. So there we go. Who else have we got? That's that. We'll have to mute that. That's us. There we go. Right. That should be all right. There we go. Little bit of muting. Because remember, some people spam you and you don't, you just send one through. Mr. McClue, I take it you like Derbyshire as well. We're very lucky to have things on our doorstep. Roy Michael, Lord Reith the Labrador was swimming in the little river at Bakewell. You know, absolutely incredible. Yes, we're muting everybody and we're muting naughty boys and girls. Been a great weekend with the sun, says Amy. Oh, Amy, outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. Good evening, Scottie McClue, says Ronnie. Good evening, Ronnie. Lovely to have you with us. Hello, Scottie McClue, says Kareem. Good evening, Scottie. All the way from sunny Prague, says Stevie, in the Czech Republic. Stevie, that's just outstanding. This is amazing. Amazing. Just incredible, guys. I tell you. Scottie, there's too much reality TV on. Glenn, I don't do it. This is what I want to do because this is what the people want. And the broadcast companies just will not wake up to that. They just don't get it. And that's what you've got to do. You've got to say, wakey, wakey. You know, wakey, wakey. Yes, indeed. So the people want to talk. They want to talk. That's what this is. But the broadcast companies think, oh, no, we'll put some stuff on that we think's entertaining. Sorry, news flash. Say hello to Lisa and Teddy, please, Scottie. Yes, I will. Amy says, I was over in Châtellerault in Hamilton yesterday. Wow, what a beautiful part of the world that is. You're live on Scotty's Phone In. Who's that?
Dinky-Doo, Scottie, it's Kareem.
Kareem, how lovely to have you with us now. Kareem, Numpty Heat came on last week and said, you usually discuss politics with Kareem, but he's not on tonight. So can I take his place?
Right.
So anyway, we were just talking very generally about blaming the civil service. You know, you never, ever, ever, ever blame the civil service. It's going to come back on you. Just watch this space, and I'll leave that at that.
I'd agree, because we don't know what happens behind closed doors
No.
with the civil servants. And as
No.
you know, Scottie, there's always politics for everything. So you need to step back and just let it play out.
And
sure
very
whatever
important to
happens-
never politicize the civil, or attempt to politicize the civil service. These are the permanent government, regardless of who's been voted in. They're running the show and running the administration, and doing it pretty well, to be honest with you, you know.
They have to serve whatever government's in charge, or whatever party, I should
Yes.
say, is in charge at the time. So
Yes.
they have to be apolitical, won't they?
Absolutely, absolutely. Now then, what can I do for you tonight, sir?
I was thinking, I've not spoke politics with you for a while, and I'm not going to do that tonight. If I was to say, the only thing for listeners would be, obviously, the Scottish elections are coming. We're not going to say who to vote for and who not to vote for.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say, Scottie, is people need to read up on how it actually works.
Yes.
Because so many people don't know how the two votes work, and you're hearing a lot of information that is wrong about it.
Mm-hmm. Would you like to enlighten us a little bit?
Well, the first vote is your constituency vote, and that's first past the post. Okay, so most seats win. If you're talking about a party to get control of the parliament, they need 65, and you can get that with the first vote. Your second vote is done by PR. So whatever party, the DINKY-DOO system, whatever party does extremely well in the constituency vote, they get penalised in the second vote. And obviously, I'm not going to go into it and talk about SNP or Labour Tories, but that's where people get things wrong. They need to know how the DINKY system works and to carefully decide who they're going to actually give their second vote for, because a lot of the time it's wasted. So be very, very careful who your second vote goes to. If your first vote, you know they've done extremely well in the constituency, and I think we know who will do, then you have to decide, am I going to waste my second vote because it will go towards one of the unionist parties? And that's all I'm going to say.
Right, very good. I think that's probably plenty. The wise people will have taken that in.
Yeah. Well, Scottie, I was going to ask you, I was just thinking, what can I do thinking inside the box, just a bit different from normally what we discuss or other people discuss. If you were to go back in time, and if you were to see your younger self as a young man or a boy, what advice would you tell yourself about the future?
Just watch people who, once they've got what they want, don't require yours, or think they don't require your services. So just be very careful. Get stuff in writing all the time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And just watch out for the charlatans and the sharks.
Yes. Yes, good.
I mean, I've been very lucky. I've virtually, with one exception, always worked for what you'd call blue chip companies. So I really didn't have to worry. You're working for people of a very high caliber. And the only time I wasn't working for somebody with a high caliber was because I'd been used to working with people of a high caliber, and I was foolish enough to think that somebody could be trusted when they couldn't. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So that's the thing. But I don't think I would change too much, to be quite honest. It's interesting because things have kind of just happened for me. You know, it's very interesting.
You are now, Scottie, because of that.
Yes, I think so. And I think, you know, I mean, here am I in my 70th year, and I have no anger and no bitterness, and You know, none of that sort of stuff that takes people away early, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, they're just getting on with it, enjoying life.
Just getting on with it. Somebody said to me recently, they said, so have you just worked your life away? And I said, yeah, pretty much, really.
Oh, but Scott, people say that, or you've just worked your life away. But on your travels, you have been up and down this United Kingdom. You have seen beautiful places, I'm sure. You have had experiences. You have met so many people, very nice people, kind people, people that are not, you know, that to me is, you know, that's a lot that you've had out of life.
Wonderful people. I mean, quite outstanding people I've been privileged to meet and to work with. And to be quite honest with you, you know, my father's mantra comes back. You know, when I was telling him I'd spoken to a chap who was a multimillionaire, and my father said, well, you can only wear one suit. And, you know, that sort of common sense thing. And I think it's rather good that you don't have far to fall in life, if that makes sense.
Yeah, okay.
You know, you don't have far to fall. You know, somebody who's been right up the top and comes down with a bump, as people do, you know. If you look at the end of the movie The Queen, when the Queen's brilliantly portrayed, the late Queen Elizabeth's brilliantly portrayed by Dame Helen Mirren, and she's interviewing the character playing Tony Blair, you know, and she goes, it'll happen quite suddenly, Mr. Blair, as if to say there will be a fall from power, you know. You won't always be Prime Minister. And if you think about it, and this is true, every political career ends in failure.
Yeah.
You know, every political career ends in failure. Even if you get, like Churchill was still hanging about at 80, but by that stage, nobody was really listening to him. You know?
I think with the fall from politics, I think you're in power, it could be for a number of years, could be a number of months, but you get forgotten because, as they say, the train moves onwards, and then the new lot come in and they take the limelight. And, well, the old ones tend to be forgotten. But when you hear some of these older ones still speaking, the knowledge and experience that they have,
when you heard the likes of Tony Benn speaking, you know, and people like that, and when you hear John Major speaking, you don't hear him often enough. But when you hear John Major speaking, you know, I mean, that man was just bathed in common sense.
Yeah. Although he was a Tory, you know, when we've heard him recently in a lot of interviews, you know, you think some of them don't make sense there.
Yes.
You know, it's always funny. They always seem to make sense when they're not in power, but when they're in power, you know. But again, it comes back to the politics, you know, like there's only so much they can do.
Well, the whole trade, if you can call it a trade, I can remember when a delightful politician, a very fine man, and at his funeral, the preacher said, politics is a rough trade, you know, and it can be. But there are some people who are in it for genuine reasons that they want to see if they can make a change. Now, that's becoming increasingly difficult now because they keep adding in safeguards. Now, we know the safeguards aren't really working because there's a bit of a revolving door going on, and it'll be interesting to see when it takes its next turn. You know? There's a guy says, "Oh, up the Royal Artillery, the RA." A big gunner.
At the moment, politics, again, not to go into it, but it's that geopolitics is the new thing now across the world, and it's just different phases. But you know, we have to keep a smile. We have to keep going. There's a lot of evil in this world, but you need to remember there's always light at the end of the tunnel.
Good will always triumph over evil. Watch this space.
Absolutely.
Lovely to hear you.
Listen, thank you for taking my call. DINKY-DOO, and speak next week, Scott.
You're a great force for good, and I love that.
Thank you. Have a good week, Scotty. Bye now.
And you, sir. Bye-bye. There's our Kareem. Always a great call. Always a fabulous call. Now, I'm missing here. Long time no hear. Loved hearing you on the radio, says Ronnie. Dinky-Doo says William. Is that not amazing? Willie says, I was very successful in my career and it took me all over the world and I only returned to Scotland 3 years ago. Advice to younger self, always remain humble, listen to people and give more encouragement. To the younger generation, too many politicians forget that. I would say all of them forget that, Willie. You're live on Scottish Phone-In. Who's that?
Hey, Scotty, it's Glenn.
Hey, Glenn, Dinky-Doo, la.
How you doing, Scotty?
Well, I'm doing wonderfully well. I really am, because you know, we're on 3 platforms right now.
A few weeks ago, we had a bit of a scare family.
Oh no!
You know, youngest one, Tamika.
Yeah.
She ended up in hospital. She ended up in. She had cardiac. She had cardiac arrest for 7 minutes.
Oh, for goodness sake, Glenn!
And then she got rushed to. She went to local hospital. Then an hour and a bit later, 3 hours later, she had to go to Stoke. We had to go to Stoke for a week with her. She had, like viral infection on her lung.
Wow.
So they had to put her into intensive care for a few days. So we stopped at Stoke Hospital for a few days while she got herself back to normal again. Now, just waiting for a follow-up by local hospital. She's back to normal now. She's up and going.
Here's Ian asking, is she okay now? Is that not amazing? They're right on.
Back to her normal self again, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It just puts things into perspective.
Oh, yes.
Doesn't it?
Well, what's important about life?
Especially when you've got your nearest and dearest and your family around you, isn't it?
Yeah. What's important about life, isn't it?
We take things for granted at times, don't we, to be fair?
Well, of course we do. You think you'll just go on forever and your family will go on forever and all that, and then suddenly you can just hit a wall, so to speak,
Do you think at times these things are just there to see how you react, Scott, to test you kind of thing?
No, I think there's so many things. I think you'll find they've always been about. I mean, you look at when there were big swathes of things like the plague and all that kind of stuff going back 1,000 years, 500 years. And then you had huge things like tuberculosis, and things like that. Things that were just wiping, populations out. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think now it's a shock when something goes wrong health-wise.
Absolutely, definitely, Scott. I mean, I think a big shout out to the hospital that looked after her anyway, in Stoke Hospital, Stoke-on-Trent.
Yes, no, wonderful. Yeah.
A massive shout out to them. And
hey, no problem, Glenn.
They do a great job for what?
Absolutely.
All the NHS have got their hands tied up to a certain extent, Scotty, Andy, to be fair.
Oh, yes, of course. I mean, everything has, but there are good people fighting for better conditions all the time. COVID, there's Ian saying, then we had COVID recently,
Definitely. I mean, we all have to just keep on...
well done, you and your good lady as well, because that's and her sister for coping with all that, because that's a tough one.
It's an experience that obviously you don't want to go through, but it brings you stronger together, doesn't it? And everything else in it, like I said.
Glenn, you're a good man. You've got a lot of it right, so you don't need to worry from that point of view. You just need to use your strengths and your skills and get out there and carry on, because you've done a wonderful job.
I appreciate your words of wisdom, Scotty, anyway.
Wonderful job. You and I go back a long way.
Definitely. I mean...
we first spoke 30 years ago.
seems a lifetime away, doesn't it?
29 years since you and I first spoke.
Sheffield, weren't it?
Hallam FM.
Absolutely.
Great station.
All that, isn't it?
But there's brilliant stuff in Sheffield. Try and get into Sheffield and Barnsley Essentials.
Those were the best days, weren't they, Sky?
Oh, great. These were brilliant radio stations.
You know the WhatsApp number, that 0114 number, is that a WhatsApp number what you've got on for Sheffield?
0141, no.
The 0114 number?
Yeah, no, no, I've not. I'm 0141 number's the only one I've got here. Oh, that one. The one that you see. Yeah, that's Sheffield.
Yeah, are you...
That'll take you through to the Essentials.
Are you working with them there?
Well, we're kind of tied up, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
You know, like a little franchise.
Like I said, Scotty, what do you reckon to this reality stuff? What's on TV?
Listen, I can't be bothered with that. I love real people, Glenn. I love what we're doing right now, and so do the people. They've told me that.
Scotty, anybody can be making a drink and a cup of tea on TV, can't they?
I've no time for all that. I'm sorry, but it's kind of, they're grasping at straws now in television.
It's pathetic, isn't it?
You know, I don't go for it. I love real people. What we're doing right now, this is what the people want.
I'm not knocking the man behind it who was introducing the program, you know.
No, great stuff. We're not knocking anybody, and we'll not do names anyway. But I just say it's not my style of programming.
Yeah. I mean, you'd be walking, to be fair, Scotty, you'd be walking in there as a guest and whatnot, and you'd sunruffle some feathers up, wouldn't you? Just imagine you in there, bro.
We'd have a bit of a laugh.
You'd get these younger generations going, wouldn't you?
Well, I can remember, as I say, you know, a huge radio boss of a youth channel coming to hear me speak, and I thought, what's he doing there? And of course, you realize the young following that I have. TikTok, YouTube, you know, Facebook.
I mean, there's a lot of things these days. It's all streamed now, and it's got
yeah, that's what it is. Well, what are the young people doing? They're trying to attract the young generation. Where are the young generation? They're on the phones.
On the phones, exactly.
Right? So, I mean, what are they bothering about the telly for? I told them that years ago, but then it goes, who listens to me at that level? You know, tut-tut-tutty-tut.
They'll have square thumbs at this rate, Scotty, and square eyes, aren't they?
That's what'll happen, and they'll lose their vision and all sorts of things, you know, just the way things evolve.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with minimizing it a bit for younger generation, you know, to get them into education and whatnot, and entertainment to a certain extent, but you've still got to keep it to a
information, education, and entertainment. That's what we do.
Because I should imagine that certain schools have internet and everything all set up from when they go to school and everything, but again, it's got to be paper based, hasn't it?
Well, no, I mean, I think a lot of young people now work on internet, on iPads and things like that. Yeah, absolutely.
You've still got to have a bit of A4 paper and whatnot, and a bit of common sense at times.
Paper and a pencil at times, absolutely.
You know, so because a lot of people seem to think that people are being controlled by technology and that.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. We're benefiting from technology right now, Glenn.
Absolutely. It's the best form of entertainment and socialising, isn't it, I think, to be honest.
Hey, lovely to hear you. I'm going to have to dash, but you take care and love to little one. Strength. God bless you, sir. Top man. That's our Glenn. Fantastic. A Sheffield man is in the Midlands. Now, who else have we got here? Always get stuff in writing, says Monty. Hey, Scottie Dinky-Doo. Gordon says, hello, McClue. Thanks, says Paul, for keeping the HLI in mind. We love the HLI. I used to stay around the corner from their barracks. Ronnie says, I ended up in a wheelchair because of COVID and lost the use of my legs in 2021. Ronnie, I hope they come up with something to change your situation. I would love nothing more, and so would you. Fantastic. Now then, who have we got? Aris says, long time no see. I'm having a glass of, and he mentions, and I've...
Hello there.
Guys, if you're coming on, remember, no second names, no names of individuals.
Sorry, is this Scottie McClue I'm speaking to?
You are speaking to Scottie McClue, sir.
Oh, Dinky-Doo, Scottie, long time no speak. I used to speak to you about 30 years ago.
Wow.
I don't know if you remember me.
Tell me more. Give me a first name.
I'm Trevor from Edinburgh.
Trevor, I remember you well.
Sorry?
I remember you well.
Well, I was just phoning you up, Scottie, to say I was listening to one of your broadcasts today. It's something you've done before. I think you're a very, very nice person. I was listening to you speaking about Scotland and independence, and I thought, man, this guy should be a politician. I couldn't believe how clear you were in the mind, and I just thought, you've come a long, long, long way, my friend. And I want to tell you something good, something that will cheer you up.
Go on.
I'm recording with a band now, and we're making an album, and our album's coming out on the 27th of April. It's coming out on Monday.
Right.
And it's going to be on Spotify and YouTube and all that. Now, I'm not phoning you up to get plug.
No, but you can do.
I'm only phoning you up to say you've got a big audience and you're well respected, you know. And if you wanted to say people, Trevor that used to phone me up 30 years ago has got an album coming out and it's on Spotify. It's called Knocking on the Wall. I'm not asking for people to buy it. This isn't something you buy. You just go there and you listen to it. You stream it.
Wow.
You don't get charged for listening on Spotify or SoundCloud or on YouTube, and it'll be on these three platforms. So if people have got no money, I'm not asking them to buy it. They just go and listen to it. I like rock and roll songs, blues songs, all sorts of stuff. And I experiment with sound. I've been doing it for like 30 years. So some of this stuff has come out absolutely incredibly good.
Now, Trevor, I've got, I'm on, as you know, YouTube. We've got, 52,000 subscribers. We're on Facebook with the new Glasgow Essentials. I know you said you're an Edinburgh man. And 700,000 people have listened this month to something that's about 12 weeks old. Okay? 700,000. So I would suggest, and then we've got TikTok. We've got 36,000 followers on TikTok and about 180,000 likes. And if you wanted to send me some stuff through to any of these platforms, I'll send it round for you.
I'll find your. I'm going to just Google just now and see if I can find an email for you, Scottie.
Yes.
If I can.
Well, you've got. I'll give you one. It's Scottie@scottie-mcclue.com.
Scottie@scottie-mcclue. I'll tell you what. I'll send you a song. You can listen to it. It's called. It's called. Eaton Mansions. It's a really good song. It's very rock and rolly. I mean, it might be a bit fast. See, I'm an old guy, Scottie. I'm over 70, but I love rock and roll music. I've lived it all my life. And I'll send you one of my songs tonight, when you get your milk box, when you're off the air and you're not talking to people on your show, you sit down and just have a wee listen to it. Now, there's got two addresses for you. It's got one here, Scottie@scottiemcclue.com with a hyphen, and there's another one, Scottie.mcclue@Nation Broadcasting Wales.
No, forget that one. That's an old one now.
Okay, my friend. I'll send you one, Scottie, with a nice wee friendly message. Like I say, I'll try and send you. I might send you two songs. I wouldn't send you more than that. Because
well, no, you don't need to. Just send me some details and I'll send it round. So I won't necessarily play the song because we don't play music because of all the copyrights.
I mean, for you to listen to.
Yes. Oh, I'll listen to it and then I'll send it round. I'll send the link round for you.
That's great, Scottie. I'll be back in touch with you really soon. Thank you for taking my call.
Lovely to hear you. And stay fabulous.
And great talking to you again, Scotty. I'm dead glad that you're still broadcasting. People like you are really, really valuable. Let me tell you, we need as many people with an open mind in this country to speak out about what's going on and be and you're very, very good doing this, because you can be critical, but you're not nasty. And I really like you for that. So that's why I wanted to say Dinky-Doo for Scottie McClue.
I don't have a nasty bone in my body, but I take no prisoners.
Yeah, but Scotty, you're a top man.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You take care, La. That's our Trevor from Edinburgh. Ian says, I thought you weren't allowed to play music because of the copyrights. That's quite right, Ian. So that's why I'm telling him, as I've just said, I won't be able to play the music because of the copyrights. Are you with me? Does that tie in with what you thought? I tell you. Now we've got all the beautiful people here. This is just amazing. On the Facebook, Glasgow Essentials, guys, get onto Facebook, follow Glasgow Essentials. I hope you can share Trevor's link. Scotty, sounds good. It does sound good. Sorry I'm late. Scotty says, Susan, you don't have to apologize. You're here now, and you'll never get a row from me for being late because we don't know the whole story. I tell you. Right, here we got here. Oh, Adam, you're a rising star. Have you got beautiful weather in Glasgow, says Aris Park? Yes, we have. We've got gorgeous. There's Leah. Dinky-Doo, Leah. I'm on the Scotty boy. There we are. I'm sorry if I missed some of your messages if we're talking to the callers, but we get there. It's a good way to spend an hour on a Saturday night, I tell you. Who else have we got? Geez, Ronnie is sending lots of hope. So there we go. Monty, yes, quite right. The Isle of Mull is amazing at the moment. Arrows Park. Are you actually around Arrows Park? Am I not right in thinking that there was a huge mansion at Arrows Park and then they took it down and turned it into a park? Am I right? Would it still have been there when I used to go on holiday to Mull, to Tobermory in 1965? So there we go. Amazing. 61 years ago. Yeah, that's right. I spent my afternoon studying in my garden. It's really warm up here in Glasgow, says Leah. Yes, it would have. Wow. So I could have seen Arrows House in 1965. The Loch Buoy used to come into the steps at the pier, and then she went over to Mingery and Ardnamurchan. I visited Edinburgh last year, coolest city I've ever been to. Where are you, Gig? There we are. Scotty, how do you feel about the dying setup? Dying. Right. Do you play golf, Scotty? Never played golf in my life. And I've probably told you the story, but I can remember sitting in one of the country's top golf clubs having lunch. My friend had told me to tidy myself up, put my blazer on. And we were sitting there having lunch, and he leant forward conspiratorially and he tapped my sleeve and he tapped my forearm and he said, if you play your cards right, I think I could probably get you in here. So I tapped his forearm and I said, well, don't put yourself out because I don't golf. Tommy says, it's good to see you back, Scotty. I heard you say God bless to someone about 10 minutes ago. Scotty, do you believe? Oh, Tommy, you've got to believe. Otherwise, what's the point? So there we go. Othello says, Rangers or Celtic? Check out. I just did a video today about it. Scotty, do you think the king will talk some sense into Trump? Well, I think Trump is absolutely stuffed with sense. So we shall see what actually happens. That's what it is about. Hold on, guys. I'm just dealing with a bloke here. Just been a wee bit silly. There we go. Oh, yes, we love that. That's the end of that. There we go. Sometimes I get people you know, just being a wee bit silly. I'm so following you, says Robbie. You should, Robbie. Fantastic stuff. Hi, Numpty Heed. Numpty Heed says, I'm late, Scottie. Numpty Heed, I think you're always late these days. I think you've got something on the go. I tell you, good evening, Scottie. I hope you're well. Richard, wonderful Richard Tanner, the kindest man in the world, who has spoiled me on many an occasion on the TikTok. You can't but follow, says Aris Park. No, you must, Aris Park. Fantastic. So there we go. I think you sound like Trump, says Lonnie. What a compliment. My goodness me. Well, let's hope I'm as successful when I'm his age. Is this the guy that used to be in the radio in the late 90s? Oh, David, yes. There we are. And in the late 2000s. Or should we say early 2000s? We're not quite at the late 2000s yet. Get fit and healthy so you don't get health programs, so you don't get health problems. Thank you, Dr. Random. I will do that. Ian says, I think I'll go and get a coffee. So yes, you do that, Ian. Or why not make one in the house? I was going to work early in the morning, and people were walking about the railway station with cups of coffee. Now, you never, ever, ever used to see that. And I thought, why not have a coffee in the house and then go to your work? Good point, Scottie. Someone mentioned the assisted dying bill. What's your thoughts on letting people end their life when they want to, when they're suffering a terminal illness? Well, I'll tell you a story in a minute. You're live on Scottish Phone In. Who's that?
It's nobody, Scottie, with a complaint.
Oh, thank goodness. We've no had a complaint tonight, so that's good.
Well, it's about time I started. What do you think?
Well, just before you start, somebody said, have you seen the price of World Cup tickets? It's like thousands. I wouldn't pay it. I would stay at home.
I would say, Scottie, we'll just watch on
These people are announcing that they're wanting to rip you off if you go near the game in America.
Well, are you going to let me complain or no?
Oh, sorry, I beg your pardon. Is it the kind of complaint I write down and then tear up? No?
No.
Oh, it's not about me.
Of course it's about you.
Oh, you're complaining about me, right? Press on.
I was on your show last week, correct?
Yeah, you were.
You gave me the cold.
We did. I gave you the cold.
You gave me the cold. I've been out all week, and you're the only one I spoke to last week, Scottie, so it could have well come for you.
I have told you not to get too near your telephone.
Well, you should have wiped the mouthpiece.
I did wipe the mouthpiece. You should have wiped the earpiece. That's where you've got the cold.
I'll tell you, maybe it was the lovable lassie when she answered the phone.
It might be the lovable lassie when she's got your job at the moment.
Anyway. Scottie, you listening?
Yes.
Well, that makes a change.
Yes, there's a first time for everything.
Do you know the batteries? You know the ones no one uses? They come in a pack of 6. Well, I'm doing to my last one.
Nobody uses, but you're doing to your last one.
And they come in a pack of 6.
How does that sound? You've used 5 of them, but nobody uses them.
Well, every time I go to buy them, they're always full, stuck at food, you know, so it's like nobody else buys them except me. There's
plenty of them. Are you talking about the ones that you use 2, 2, and 2?
No, I'm talking about the ones you put in your keyless car. Can they batteries? The wee round ones.
Oh, they wee round batteries. Aye, I know. You have to watch. You don't have dirty hands when you're putting them in.
Anyway.
There's the wonderful Lee has joined us on TikTok. Lee, what a lovely, lovely thing. He's sending me huge, huge gifts.
Well, they should be sending me huge sympathies for this.
Well, we're sending you sympathy, Sal, and I told you, do not get too close to your phone because you don't know who I've been talking to on here.
Ken.
There we are. There's somebody saying they use them for hearing aids. Do you use them for your hearing aid?
listen, I can imagine some of the people you've been talking to where your number turns up in toilet wars and that.
I think you'll find it's your number.
Excuse me, Nuco. I'm going to have a fight. Oh dear. Now, Scotty, I've got one thing to say. One thing to say.
How come if they ring my number, you answer?
Yeah?
How come when they ring my number, you answer?
Aye. I don't know.
Right.
Let me quickly say this.
Lee, what are you doing?
Scotty?
You'll bankrupt himself.
Listen.
Yes, I'm always listening.
For real, so it's too black eyes.
I just don't want you to know.
Eh?
I don't want you to know I'm listening, Ed. I don't want to swell,
Right, well,
swell your head.
Keep interrupting.
Of course.
Now, I was saying, can you remember the Pope, Scotty? You mind the Pope?
Which one? John Paul II.
The one that resigned.
Oh, Benedict.
Aye, was it him?
Lee Bandoni.
There's
What
been
you?
that many,
Lee
Scotty.
is giving me gifts, and he's away up in the 200s.
Very good, man. Try to have a decent conversation.
Sorry,
Yeah,
so you were talking about the Pope.
I was.
Right.
Do you remember which one?
Yes, Benedict.
Aye. He was the one that resigned, eh?
Aye, but he's passed away now, as far as I know.
Was that, let me think, was it 2015? When about 2015 he resigned, wasn't it?
Resigned.
Aye.
Was it no? I know, no, it would be about then, yes. Yes. Lee, what are you doing?
Let me ask you a question.
Right.
About that day, Scotty, because something happened that day that's never happened before.
Right.
Do you ken what it was?
Halley's Comet, no?
No, the day the Pope resigned,
Yes.
right? Something special happened that day that's never happened before, and it's never happened since. Can you guess what it was?
We had two popes who were living.
No.
Oh.
Wrong answer.
That's a pretty good answer, that. Because that's never happened before, I wouldn't think.
Yeah. I've got the right answer here, Scotty.
Uh-huh.
Are you interested in knowing what the right answer is?
Of course! We're sitting here on tenterhooks. Lee, what are you doing? Is it 350?
Winston, let me speak.
Right.
I'll tell you what happened. The Vatican was struck by lightning.
Never was it.
Aye.
That's...
Just after 6 o'clock, the night the Pope resigned.
So the Pope resigned and a bolt of lightning struck the Vatican.
Correct.
Wow.
If you don't believe me, you don't have to believe me, but it did make the 6 o'clock news, even though it just happened after 6 o'clock. But it would have been at least 6 o'clock, no others.
Right.
So that's how they done it.
That's
There you go.
very, very interesting. I liked John Paul. I thought he was great.
Which one, the first one or the second?
John Paul II.
Oh, aye. Here, I'll tell you, I'd never make a good history teacher, Scotty. I can't remember last night.
No, but you might make a very good pope if you'd taken that route.
Taking what route?
You know, through the priesthood and what have you. I can remember somebody was talking. This is true.
I'm too busy for all that.
No, wait till you hear this. I'll tell you a true story about John Paul. My friend's son was in Edinburgh with his school and he was playing the bagpipes. And John Paul II was out and about St. Peter's Square. And he said, bring the young bagpipers. And they brought them over and he got to meet him. How about that?
Well, let me tell you this, Scotty. It's funny, I was around about that time when John Paul II was floating about Edinburgh. Because he waved to me twice.
Oh, well, he would know you.
Well, he waved to me twice. I don't think most people go wave twice.
No. He might have been blessing you, numpty head. You might have been getting a blessing.
No, what happened was his driver took a wrong turn and instead of going down the way, they went up the way and passed me and my pal playing football in the street. And then I had to turn round at the top of the road and come back down again. It's like being a second wave.
And you got a second wave. Excellent. I think that's wonderful.
Now, listen, I'm no Welsh, Scotty. I shouldn't be here.
Oh, don't say that. Yes, of course you should be here. You have as much right to be here as the rest of us.
I'll begin you all the flu.
No, that doesn't matter. I thought somebody had got their tenses wrong because they said, it says, my granny has flew. I said, no, your granny has flown.
Oh, dear. You're terrible. Right. Anyway.
We love you.
All right.
Get strong and well.
Do me a favour and cut me off.
You stick your tongue out and say ta-ta. Ta-ta. There we are. That's our numpty heed, folks. John Paul II was the longest serving pope, wasn't he? He did about 25 years. Yes, and he got shot and he recovered from that. And Ronald Reagan got shot and he recovered as well. Hashtag stay fabulous, says Sam. DINKY-DOO, Sam. Zixine says, has shared the live. That is fabulous, guys. Thank you. How beautiful are you? We need to say a big, big thanks to Lee, who sent me huge, huge gifts. Here's Sean saying good evening. You've outlived a few popes, Scotty. Yes, I have. There was one passed away, I think, in 1979, and I can go back to when one passed away in 1963, I think it was. There we are. Josh says, long-time watcher, DINKY-DOO. Yeah, that was the same year, wasn't it? 1981 or 82. So there you go. Hello, Scotty sir. Could you turn to your show and show me one of your favorite CDs? One of my favorite CDs. Give me a second, and I will show you perhaps my favorite CD. The very best of Kenneth McCullough. Isn't that beautiful? The very best of Kenneth McCullough. Is that not absolutely wonderful? I tell you. Do you remember all the Scots who got famous? I tell you. Now, hold on a second. Let's just see who we got there. There we are. Fantastic. Yes, lots of famous people, I tell you. Who else have we got? There's Phil. Lovely to have Phil with us. Now, who have we got here? Listening to your voice makes me feel so old, says Ross. Well, I would hope so, Ross. There you are. Now you know how I feel. Scotty boy, how are you, my brother, says the dog father. A lively talk show debate on Pope John Paul II. Share your memories. Absolutely. Join my fan club, guys. Twiggy boy is here. Have we time for a tune on the accordion, Scotty? Oh, it would need to be very quick, Glenn. Accordion. See if we get it here. Oh. There you go. Reach into the squeeze box for you. We've only got a minute or two. You're live at Scotty's phone in. Who's that?
Hello, it's Martin. How are you doing, buddy?
Martin, Lala, how are we? Are you DINKY-DOO?
Yes, I'm very, 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 very well, Lala. How are you?
I'm beautiful, Lala. We're on the Facebook Live at Glasgow Essentials. We're on YouTube and we're on TikTok.
Nice.
And here's somebody, what about this? I was just out on my kayak and I saw the Glen Etive built in Glasgow in 2016, part of the Majestic line. Isn't that beautiful? Thank you, Aris Park. We love it.
Yes.
Now then, Martin, I want to know how you are.
The badges yet?
The badges, no, I haven't actually, although I saw one today, but we're still not at 1 million followers. But we've had 700,000 have been on the Glasgow Essentials Facebook in the last month.
Wow.
That's not bad, is it?
Yeah, I know.
So there you go. Imagine if they all sent me a tenner.
Yeah.
There's Susan shouting, "Hi, Martin."
It's Emma.
No, Emma, but Susan's shouting hi to Martin.
Hiya, Susan. How are you?
There you are. Yeah. She'll send us it back. Say hi to Emma as well.
Well, Emma's in fine. Emma's telling what's in Holby City.
Holby City, absolutely. I thought they said that there were a lot of problems because of Holby City, but it was actually because of obesity.
Oh. Are you live from actual Glasgow? Yeah, Glasgow.
Yeah, Glasgow Essentials, we're live right now.
Cool.
On Facebook. Amazing.
Cool.
So there you go. Anyway, I better go. We're out of time, La. I love you lots.
Love you too, Scott. I'll for you next Saturday.
Do that. That would be brilliant. And Dinky-Doo.
Okay, love you lots. Bye.
Love you lots. That's our Martin and Emma. Absolutely amazing. I tell you, Big Bob is watching. Hello, Emma, says Ian. So there we are. Go and follow the man, Dinky-Doo. Absolutely, guys. Who else have we got here? What a wonderful setup tonight. Just been incredible. I love you all. Dinky-Doo, stick out your tongue and say ta-ta. Bye-bye. That's our TikTokers have had to go. How beautiful is that? There we go. And we'll just pop that down there. And I say to our beautiful YouTubers, thank you for watching. Dinky-Doo, stick out your tongue and say ta-ta. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.